Hi everyone! Today we're going to talk about A Killer's Mind. This is the first book in the Zoe Bentley series written by Mike Omer. You can find it on Amazon for $5.99 is the Kindle version, or you can rent it with the Kindle Unlimited subscription. We all know that I'm a fan of that. This book sits at 378 pages. It's a pretty moderate read in the crime thriller genre. So I have to be honest with you. I picked this book up and put it back down about every other page. So why did I keep putting it down? Frankly, the writing kind of annoyed me. I'll get into that in a second. Why did I keep picking it back up? Well, it's the reason I downloaded it in the first place, is that this book has a 4.6 out of 5-star rating. That carries a lot of weight when you consider that's after 5,000 reviews. A lot of people love this book, and I kept digging through the reviews going, somebody else has got to be with me on this. And for the most part, no, not really. People just really enjoyed this book. Now, the pretty moderate reviews were the ones that were saying, it's not surprising. This book sticks to most of the classic cliches and tropes that you're gonna see in the crime thriller genre. So if this is your first book in that genre, you might be surprised. If it's not, you're really gonna find everything very familiar and none of the twists and turns are gonna catch you off guard. We have Zoe Bentley. This is the Zoe Bentley series. She's actually a civilian working for the FBI as a profiler. She is partnered up with an FBI agent. So you have the classic duo, going on here, the dynamics of figuring out their working relationship, figuring out their relationship outside of work, whether or not there's going to be a romantic interest there or not. And of course, Zoe has a traumatic past that comes up in the writing and is brought to the forefront with the current serial killer that they're after. That's very classic. However, I do give the writer props here for this one because sometimes it can be really annoying and feel very disjointed that the character's past trauma has nothing to do with what's going on. The writer did really good in this one. I was never annoyed by it. It all made a lot of sense and also provides some suspense at the end for where the series is going to be going. That was really well done. So why did this book annoy me so much? The writer adds a lot of fluff. It is like that friend that just keeps rambling on forever, but you don't necessarily tune out because there's important bits that you want to hear. You just cannot listen to every little detail they're giving you. That is this book, and that's how I approached this book to read it. I'm sure a lot of us kind of develop a reading style for these books, is that, you just skim. You read it, you find the parts that you really enjoy and get all those little good nuggets of information and ignore the rest of it. Why was I ignoring so much fluff? Because within the first chapter, the writer is talking about and listing specifically the different Taylor Swift songs that this woman is listening to in her car. And then she comes home at the end of that first chapter to her sister has made dinner, and there is like a whole page, almost as if it is a gourmet experience. And let me just tell you, her sister is not a chef, it's not gourmet, it's spaghetti. And it's just little details like that that were just over the top and unnecessary and made it really hard for me. I kept wanting to put it back down. I was like, I cannot read this book. However, the good thing that did come from this book, and while I don't necessarily recommend it, is that it did kind of remind me, why we read as adults in the first place. It's just a lot of fun. So many of us, especially as bookworms, we start as kids. We get all excited. Maybe you were that one whose mom would buy her a bunch of books, wanted to support her reading, and then turned right back around, and you basically had to become best friends with the librarian to check out books over the library's limit because you would read them all in an afternoon. Just for example, So it did remind me of that. It did remind me how much I just like reading. And it was just a very easy, nice, gentle read that I could get through. There was nothing too surprising about it. It was just nice. So my recommendation is not necessarily to read this book. You might check it out. A lot of people loved it and loved the writing. I was not one of them. But I do recommend that you re-find your joy of reading and just pick something, get into it, and let the rest of the world fall away. Just let that picture play in your head and just really enjoy. So that is my recommendation for this week. If you have something that you want to recommend for me to read and turn around and review, please let me know in the comments and I will check it out. Thanks!